So I'm sure by now nearly everybody who's watching this video has heard the story about Phizzurp, the Call of Duty MLG player who lost his life last week in a car accident. And in the process, his friend lost his life, but his girlfriend walked away. If you read the report, the girlfriend walked away from it. And I've kind of watched things unfold, and I didn't really want to say anything until I heard more about the investigation. And as the days have passed, we've heard different things. I guess he had been streaming hours before, and then his friend, and his girlfriend, they went to Dave and Buster's, and it was about 2:30 in the morning, and they were driving back, and somehow he lost control of his Infiniti. It looks like speeding was involved. He rolled several times. He hit several trees and a light pole before landing upside down on a sidewalk. Preliminary indications based on what the police are saying, Lieutenant Michael McClelland, is that drugs and or alcohol were involved, even though the girlfriend is disputing it. But of course, once the toxicology report comes out, we'll know the truth. Now, it's an awful situation. It's a very sad situation, and many people are calling it a tragedy. And in some respects, it is a tragedy. But I think the tragedy aspect falls more on his best friend in the car. His best friend, Johnson, or Marcelous, he was married, he had a couple of kids, and now his kids are without a father. And as I watched people talking back and forth on Twitter and what they were saying, and I saw some videos on YouTube, and I kept reading the reports, I think a few things were getting swept under the rugs. Now, I feel very sad for Philip's family because, as you guys know from that Gray's Mail episode, I talked about my biggest fear being the loss of my child before I died, which is the worst fear for any parent. And now Philip's family are having to wrestle with this loss. And it's so sad because I have a lot of friends and my brothers and family members who drive under the influence, and I'm shocked to this day that they're still alive. And you hear these stories about these people who get drunk or high and they go out and they hit another family with their car and they kill the entire family, and you're just left just with your mouth open, so confused as to why God lets these things happen. And I think what bothers me the most about this situation is that had Philip survived this accident and his friend died, what a lot of you don't realize is that Philip would be charged with murder. And I said this on Twitter, and somebody corrected me and said, well, actually it'd be manslaughter. Well, you can twist the words however you want to, but the fact is that Philip murdered his best friend by getting in a car or getting behind the wheel, drunk and or high, and speeding down a road, and he loses control and he dies along with his friend. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm sitting here and I'm watching how millennials are dealing with the situation and what they're saying, and then I look at the GoFundMe and it's so lopsided. I think at this point, the GoFundMe for Phizzurp is up to $17,000, and from what Drifter said in a tweet, this guy was somewhat independently wealthy. And then you look at his friend who's leaving behind a wife and 2 kids, and his GoFundMe is only up to a little over $3,000. That's the guy who needs the money. That's the tragic loss. His kids are without a father. His wife is without a husband. We got a widow. Man, that's the one. That's the tragedy over there. This guy died at no fault of his own. Now, I know he got in a car with somebody who was high or drunk, and because of that, he's paying the penalty. But come on, you guys. I need y'all to pitch in here. I need y'all to say back to me what you're thinking on this situation. It is a very sad situation and a loss to the community, a loss for their families. But the way people are talking about Phizzurp, they're ignoring the foolish act that he committed. And it's kind of sweeping under the rug the issue that's at hand, which is drinking and driving is a horrible combination. And had he survived, he'd be facing charges and possible prison time. You guys let me know how you feel about it. Leave it in the comments below, and we'll talk about it a little bit and see where this goes. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one.